Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We are here. I see we're getting more people coming on. Just want to remind everyone, this is the SLAC meeting. I'm Irsa Weatherspoon, the chair, and also we have Robert Riddlewax, who is the vice chair. So while we're waiting for others to come in, I just want to take an attendance for the establishments that are represented this evening. Just give me a moment, please. Okay, Ras Plant Base,
Present.
and who am I speaking with?
Romeo, and Milka is right next to me.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, thank you. And Crown Hill Theater?
Present, but I sent an email withdrawing for today,
Okay. This is,
and we're going to represent because we wanted to get everything right.
okay, so you are representing tonight, though?
No, not tonight. I said we're withdrawing from the meeting tonight.
Okay, great. And this is Peter?
Yes, it is.
Okay, Peter. So, well, at least we have half of your things, so that's great. So we welcome you next month.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. And Chipotle?
Here.
And you are?
This is Dan Radman. I'm the design manager for Chipotle for this region.
Okay, thank you. Are you the only one present for this application?
Nope, we have our attorney on as well, Maston Sansom. I think he's having audio issues trying to log in.
Okay.
He's in the middle of it.
Okay, great. That happens from time to time. He's your attorney?
Correct.
Okay, great. Thank you. And Lamode Brooklyn LLC?
Hi, Amanda St. Louis, the owner, and I have the CFO also, Ava Brown. And my attorney is supposed to be joining also as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. St. Louis or St. Louis?
St. Louis.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Someone said something? Okay. I'm just going to ask for those who are not speaking, if you could just mute yourself, that would be great. Thank you. Nacho Macho Taco? Stay pressed. Here, Paul on Vanderbilt. Wackies LLC. Cruz del Sur. Okay. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Riddlewax. Hi. Can we do see if we have a quorum before we start?
Sorry, I'm trying to find the mute button.
That's okay.
Shall I call roll?
Please, sir.
Gail Branch Mohammed.
Here.
Thank you. Diane Duke. James Ellis.
Present.
Thank you. Tamika Gibbs.
Present.
Thank you. Jennifer Jordan. Thank you. Zerzima Jordan.
Here.
Thank you. Oliver Hart. Mimi Mitchell.
Present.
Thank you. Roger Myers.
Present.
Thank you. Fior Ortiz Joyner.
Present.
Thank you. Robert Puca. Celine Rosado.
Present.
Thank you. Mark Thurton.
Here.
Thank you. Ethel Tyus is excused. Gib Vaconi. Yrsa Weatherspoon.
Present.
Thank you. Sharon Wedderburn. Robert Witherwax present. Deborah Young. All right, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Okay, the first application that we will be looking at this evening is a renewal from Ross Plant Based, located at 739 Franklin Avenue. I'm going to read the application, the renewal application, and then there are a couple of items that you all should have received. Those are in the committee, and we will discuss those after we go through the application. Is the gentleman from the 77th precinct here? Did you notice him, Mr. Whitterwax? Officer Vidal? All right. Okay, so Ross Plant Space with the principals Romeo and Milka Regali, located at 739 Franklin Avenue. And this is a restaurant that is seeking a full license. They have the disc jockey, recorded music, 21 tables in the indoor service area with 2 seats per table. So that's 42 seats, 1 bar and 14 seats. Again, I'm just going to ask whoever's not speaking, could you please mute yourself? We have the background and your voices as well. Please mute yourself. Okay, so at the maximum capacity for the indoor is 63, and the hours of service is 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., Friday at 11 a.m. to 12 a.m., and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m.
I'm sorry, we have updated our hours. That was our initial hours when we first applied for the liquor license. Now our hours has changed.
Right, you've started later and it's shorter. So, so what you're actually currently your hours are, we'll say those: Sunday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm sorry, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m.,
Mhm.
Thursday, Friday, 12 p.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. So you have started later and are ending earlier as what you had initially. Okay, so where you listed music, sound, and entertainment, you have recorded music every evening except for Friday and Saturday night, excuse me. On those particular nights, you have a DJ in the back of your dining room from 6 to 10 p.m. With regards to amplified sound, you have 10 speakers in the dining area, 1 in each bathroom, 2 total, and 1 speaker outside as background music. You say you have soundproofing, which was installed during construction, and this includes the entire ceiling and the walls adjacent to the 739 Franklin Avenue residence. Number of employees, 40, and they are your runners, your servers, dishwashing personnel, your kitchen manager, line cooks, prep cooks, bartenders, bussers, hosts, and your FOH manager. No security personnel, but you do have security cameras, 2 outside, 6 in the dining space. The number of residences in the building where the premises is located is 2. And you say that it's unknown to you the number of residences on your left, right, and rear. Okay, so I'm just going to read this extra information here. The establishment now closes 1 hour later daily, which we've said before. And you're just reminding us that your liquor license is 4 a.m. daily, but you're not using those hours. You added 4 televisions and speakers for sports and debate parties, karaoke, comedy,
No,
trivia, and burlesque.
no, that's not us.
Is that not you?
No,
Okay. Well, it's written on the paper that you put your signature to, page 4. That's what it says.
no, we
So,
have,
I'm sorry, you're getting ready to say, Ms. Regali?
yes, we don't have any televisions. And
Okay.
our hours have been updated, but we are open later and close earlier. And I think
Okay.
the liquor license is until 2 a.m., not until 4 a.m.
Okay, so I'll say again that the page that I'm looking at is typed in and your signature is on it. So this is what we received. So I'm going to continue to read what's here, and you can tell us if it's correct or not. So there are no televisions or speakers, and you said that your license is at 2 a.m. The next item says that you added sound dampeners added in ceiling to prevent noise infiltration, and front-facing windows now closed at 9 p.m. Is that you?
No, ma'am, it is
Okay.
not.
We'll cross that out. What else? It's listed here that you've begun utilizing street side seating with open restaurants directly in front of your storefront.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Chair Witherspoon, I just wanted
Yes.
to interrupt just for a second because I think it's possible those first points you're reading from at the top of that page were intended as examples and were drafted by the person who made the form. I don't
Okay.
think those are, I think we'll probably see
Specific. Okay.
I don't think
Specific
those,
to any restaurant. Okay. Gotcha.
correct.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Bocconi. Okay. So I'll continue. We have a DJ on Friday and Saturday evenings from 6 to 10 p.m. Music is played at the same volume as recorded music. This is for entertainment value, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we're on the right track. We have 3 more tables inside, total of 6 seats and 2 additional bar seats. And
Correct.
okay, hours of information, you're now open later and closing earlier than before. Okay, great. So that's it. My question is, I'll just say, in terms of the amplified sound, there shouldn't be any amplified sound on the sidewalk, outdoor. That's something that we don't have, and you said that you do have it. I just want to let you know that that's something that is not what we would approve. So that
Okay.
has to cease. You can't have amplified sound. So I'm just, give me a moment. I'm gonna go in because we have a letter from the Regalis addressed to the community board, and also a letter from your neighbor. So I just want to know, did everyone receive these 2 documents? Hello?
Yes.
Did everyone receive? Okay. All right. So let me just get in and read the complaint letter. Okay, so this is a letter from you, Mr. Regali, and it's, as I said, it's really addressed to the board to whom it may concern. I want to bring to your attention that for the last year and a half, the owner of the business adjacent to us, Had Associates of New York City, has been constantly complaining about patrons, be it from our business or not, and delivery bikes being parked directly in front of her storefront. As fellow business owners, we agreed to look into this and try to address her concerns. We discussed it with our staff, and we agreed to try to understand her complaints and resolve it amicably. To appease her grievance and to demonstrate that we take her concerns seriously, we even went to the extent of purchasing at our own expense no standing and no bike signs, although we know that sidewalks are public property. However, in recent months, she has requested that no one stand in the entire perimeter of the sidewalk in front of her storefront, which, with all due respect, is not her property. I cannot tell guests that parts of New York City sidewalk are no standing zones because it is not private property. Oftentimes, we are met with condescending looks or comments by bystanders or delivery people when asking them to move 10 feet away from her business. This puts our staff, my wife, and myself at risk of possible unnecessary altercations. Moreover, when asking guests to move away from the storefront, we say, out of respect of our neighbor, we ask that you stand away from the door. And that's in a quote. But she even claimed that that destroys her public image. We have tried to be respectful and understanding as possible, but we have felt harassed and discriminated against by her since day one. Lately, Ms. Davison has come out of her office screaming at patrons, staff, and even went to the extent of throwing a delivery person's bike to the ground and kicking it. There's a video of the surveillance attached. It has also come to our attention from fellow business owners that she constantly defames our character, which could affect our business. We understand her frustrations and would like to work it out in an amicable manner, as we will be neighbors for the next 8 years. To date, we have done everything according to the law and are solely trying to run a business and bring healthy plant-based foods to our community and beyond. With over 20 years of restaurant management experience combined, my wife and I have never had an issue with our neighbors or the community in which we operate. We are asking for you to act as mediators so that we can create a peaceful working and dining environment for everyone. So, and attached to the correspondence was a surveillance video. So I'm asking our committee, were you able to read that letter and see the surveillance video? Okay, thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the other letter from the neighbor. Okay, so this was on September 15th, and it's addressed to RAS Plant Based. This office represents Hadia Davidson, Had Associates of New York City, at 737 Franklin Avenue Realty Corporation, located at 737 Franklin Avenue. It's an issuance to as a formal notice to cease and desist from you and your patrons' disturbances to my client, her associates, and the tenants of the building. My client informs me that your business, patrons, and the owner of 739 Franklin Property LLC are engaging in the following nuisance behavior since September 2020 till the date of this letter. Patrons are loitering in front of my client's office during office hours, disturbing her office and workflow. This disruption continues after office hours, as the patrons are often loud, unruly, and disturbing the peace and quiet of the tenants above the client's business. Patrons leave cigarette butts, chewing gum, trash, etc. in the client's plant boxes. The patrons also use my client's plant boxes as a seating area, often destroying its contents. Your business has allowed third-party delivery persons to wait and collect deliveries directly in front of my client's office. The delivery persons have engaged in physical altercation and rowdy conduct with my client, damaging her plants and harassing my client personally. Your business plays loud music, completely disregarding the NYC noise pollution of quiet hours. Your patrons are often smoking all kinds of substances in front of my client's office and not adhering to the posted non-smoking signs. Using my client's area of the sidewalk to conduct business directly in front of her office and building where your patrons sit or stand, using this as your waiting area, blocking the front door of the office and the tenants residing above. The situation is not only disruptive, but it can become a liability as an area for a potential incident. You and your staff have defamed my client's business, personal character by stating, amongst other remarks, that my client is the source of all the problems. Permitting garbage from your premises to be placed in front of my client's office, which causes rodents and a possibility for tickets. The above is not only a nuisance, but it has also caused my client disruption in her business, fear of retaliation, and unnecessary stress and anguish. Please take note that we demand that you cease and desist from this activity within 10 days from your receipt of this letter. If no action is taken, then we shall commence legal action against you. And this is sincerely from Kevin Golding, her representative. Okay, so we have a couple things to really discuss. Moving forward, just want to get back to where you're actually seeing me. Moving forward, when we're dealing with renewals, there are three things that needs not to happen before us. You know, you get it. You get to sit before us when there are a couple of things that are not correct, or there's a change somehow. That's change of method of operation, complaints from 311, or complaints from the community. So I just want to put this out here. This is, you know, this is unfortunate to have a situation when you have two neighbors, you know, they have a business, you know, and everyone is trying to continue to have the success that they have set forward in their own lives. And it's unfortunate that we've gotten to this point. So I'm going to just put this out to my committee for questions with regard to this application and what is presented before us. Do we have any, okay, Mr. Riddlewax?
Thank you, Ms. Witherspoon. You know, we're not the solve everything and make everybody get along together committee. We're the State Liquor Authority Committee, right? So our inquiry is based on, are you being a good steward of your liquor license? That's primarily about serving alcohol. And it's secondarily about, are you having a negative impact on the quality of life on your block, right? And your immediate neighbors, right? So we have to take this into consideration to some extent, but it isn't our primary field of inquiry, right? So I just want to ask again, as far as we know, there have been no complaints about liquor service related issues, right? There's nothing from the precinct. There's nothing about
Correct.
that, right? Okay.
We haven't received that. That part is fine, but we do have this issue, and we need to really find a way to get you in a place where both of you are peaceful and being able to conduct your business side by side. That's also
Thank you.
important as well. Anything else did you want to say, Mr. Riddlewax?
Nope, that's good for
That's
now.
it? Okay, I thought I saw a hand. I don't know if it went back down. Does anyone else have a comment? Mr. Bocconi?
I wanted to say that in the past, and this would be going back some years now, but we have had experience trying to work with businesses in this situation with the help of a mediator. And that might be a way to go in this situation.
Yes. Initially, and these two letters came in like a day of each other or something like that. So the mediation was the thought, the prevailing thought. But then now we brought in an attorney. So that's, you know, that also gives it a little bit more importance. And we hope that some sort of mediation can occur. But that's where we are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I read the attorney's letter as looking for action on these points, and I think that would be the purpose of mediation.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the parties are interested in mediation, I know that we've in the past the community board has worked on a referral basis with some organizations like Crown Heights Community Mediation here that have performed that role, and it might be something worth exploring if the parties are willing.
Well, I'm going to Miss Davison is on the call here. Her video is up, and I'm going to ask for her to speak. Miss Davison. I'm not hearing you. Are you unmuted? It looks like, okay, I'm hearing something.
Hello? Not hearing anything.
We can't hear you, Miss Davison. Okay, we're having a little audio problem. So let me just take a couple of people. Miss Gibbs.
Hello?
There she go.
Hello?
You take
Okay.
take her first. Take her first.
Miss Gibbs, you said? Hello?
I'm sorry. Who's speaking? You're with number ending 74. Who is speaking?
Mary Gibbs.
Okay. You are speaking with regard to this application?
I apologize. I just got on and I'm on the banner with the Black Lady Theater. So I'm not sure exactly what line you guys. I apologize because I was trying to download the app and it just wasn't working, so I just called it.
Okay, so
So
let me update you a little bit. We're not going to do that application this evening. The applicant pulled it until next month.
okay.
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 Now, I mean, if you're going to stay on, that's great, but we just need you to mute yourself. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
And
Thank you.
how I don't know if I can do that because I'm on the phone. I'm not on the Zoom.
Okay, so if you can't mute yourself, then
I'll just lower the volume.
yes, so we don't have any background
Okay.
noise or anything. Okay, Ms. Gibbs.
Chair. Oh.
Yes. Are you? Who's this?
This is Stacy Sheffy.
Hi, Ms. Sheffy.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, good. May I speak until Ms. Davison's video or audio gets back online, because I do live near Franklin, and I just want to say
Yes,
that,
go right ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say that, yes, these are two businesses that both of their businesses are effective. I happen to go to Hart Associates because she is my accountant, so I'm in there a little more than, just every other day. And I have experienced where Roz Plant's guests and people waiting for pickup we're talking about standing in front of her door or leaning on her door that I couldn't get out one day, and I'm trying to ask somebody to move so I can come out of the door. And you are met with you know, a lot of attitude. It didn't seem like Roz Plant was sensitive enough to, or their employees were equipped enough to handle it or do something with it, and so therefore it has escalated from last year till now to having a lawyer put in. They have a letter that they put in with a video showing their side, but they don't have other videos showing that people leaning up against her door. Her tenants are afraid to say anything. There's 2 tenants there. There's 3 tenants in the building next door. And I'm hearing all these complaints too. Nobody likes to go and complain because of fear. So it's not fair that they have extra seating. They don't just have the shed, seats inside the shed. They have seats and tables in front of the shed that has tables already in the shed, and extra tables, as you can see in their video, out front. So that area becomes like a squeeze zone, and you can't pass besides the delivery guys. So it's very, very a boiling point that has tipped over. And it's not fair to either person. They want to make money, and she needs to make money and be comfortable and be able to service her people.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Oh, I hear her on now. So if she's on,
It came in a
I'll
different
let
way.
her.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stacy.
Okay, I'll let her continue. That's my 2 cents.
Appreciate your 2 cents, Stacy, and good hearing from you. I wish I could see you, but good hearing from you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Davidson?
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I prepared a letter today. I can't hear myself. For the board, so I'm going to read it. Thank you, Community Board, for this meeting. Can you guys hear me?
Clearly.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Hadia Davidson. My office has been on Franklin Avenue since 1995. Had Associates of New York. My family owns the building for many years prior to housing my business at this location. I have been fortunate to meet some wonderful people during the time in the community. Great people such as Eve Porter, Sarah Taylor, who at the time had started Crow Hill Community Association and had asked me to serve as the treasurer, which I did for many years. There has been many other great contributors, Stacy Sheffy, Nina. We all worked to revitalize Franklin Avenue and the surrounding streets. These accomplishments were recognized by the former Controller Carl McCall, honored by Jesse Owens, and the former New York State Representative Roger Green for the outstanding work we did. And we received the greatest honor, block honor, from Sterling to Park Place, my block, as the small sample of praise given to us for our work. As a professional and business owner in the community, I have been proud to see the changes and welcome new businesses since the inception of coming to Franklin. In my attempt to address 737 Franklin prior to Roz Plant Base moving into the space, I have encountered problems with the restaurant that previously occupied the space. Issues such as the previous owner opened the wall and placed a door that led to my backyard in my absence and was using our backyard at nights when I was not in attendance, while having never given permission to use the backyard connected to the property. I am happy to say that I met with the owner at the time and arrived with a resolution for that specific issue. However, the problems were varied and included their patrons using my area to smoke and sit on the decorative plant boxes, and at times I arrived in the mornings discovering vomit to be cleaned up from the inside out of my gate, cups, bottles, etc. The trend has continued with plant-based, where they use my area without any regard for the property and the work involved to keep it beautiful and clean for not only my clients and associates, but the entire neighborhood. This effort is disregarded by the patrons of RAS-based and without proper stewardship of their customer base. It only opens the opportunity to have the patrons loiter in my area near and around my primary entrance to my office, and customers wait to be seated. You guys can go see. The delivery persons worsen this issue as deliveries are typically being given to drivers on motor-operated vehicles on the sidewalk, mostly parked in the vicinity of my office throughout the day and night. This disregarded is evidence as seen in cigarettes in the plant boxes, marijuana smoking in front of my office and tenant door,
Miss Davidson, hold on
music
one
playing on
second.
the street and clearly be heard
Miss
during
Davis?
business hours and days when we work late. Not
Ms.
to
Davis?
mention the overwhelming garbage problems that we encountered. As recently as 2 weeks ago, New York City came around the neighborhood and visited several businesses and informed businesses that they were to remove the chairs and tables from in front of the outdoor seating because it is a violation. Part of this problem, in my opinion, is that at least 13 chairs, tables outside of the outdoor seating area that causes the congestion.
Hello?
Because there is no place for people to wait and for delivery bikes to pick up their deliveries. It has become overwhelming, and we end up with the problem of customers waiting in front of the area and delivery persons and patrons sitting in plant boxes, 3 guards. This is a daily occurrence. I have heard countless stories from clients passing, called me to inquire what's going on outside my office, and friends from the area called stating how congested the sidewalk has become to walk by my office. And people waiting outside, concerned voicing displeasure. There is a chair that is placed in front of my business location to accommodate large parties in front of the office. And we are concerned about the liability issue since alcohol is served. This is extremely stressful, disruptive to my business. I must pay someone to clean up around the business daily. I have spoken to merchants and requested that one of them speak with them to resolve the issue. The other have either visited me or openly complained that crowds waiting in front of my office was wrong. I have overheard while speaking to a friend their patrons defaming my business as well. The residents in the buildings are afraid to say something more than it's overwhelming at times. Lastly, on September 15th, my attorney sent a letter to RAS-Plant-Based, and we CC'd the community board outlining difficulties we face. Look, I would like to be their biggest supporter and celebrate all business success.
Hello? Can everyone else hear me?
It gives me great pleasure and fulfillment to see and work with, and see the work we have done over the years continue to blossom.
Ms. Davidson?
However, given the reason outlined, and for those reasons,
she must
we
not be able to hear me.
Things that lead to potential violations.
Yes, I don't think she can hear you because I think
that's
a phone.
Yeah, the rest of us can hear you though.
Okay. I wish I could get to her. Yeah.
Hello? I'm here. Yes, I can hear.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No. Yes.
Now you can. Okay. Sounds like the letter that I read already is what you are referencing. So since you finished what it is that you had to say, and I already read the letter to the body, we're just going to move on. I know that we have Ms. Gibbs that's waiting.
Mhm.
Because we have to wrap it up, and it just sounds
Okay, I'm
like
sorry.
you really,
Yeah.
no, don't be sorry, but we
Yeah.
need to have some sort of mediation because
Yes. In
no one's
conclusion,
going
I just
anywhere.
want.
So
I
we
see
need to
that.
just figure that out. So I'm going to let Ms. Gibbs speak, and
Okay.
anyone else behind her, let me know. Anyone? Go ahead,
Okay, I
Ms. Gibbs.
appreciate that. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair Witherspoon. Um, I would really like to know if 77 Precinct is here on the call to see if there were any,
I can't go
if, hello?
No, they are not here. I've been asking. Yeah, so it's
Because this is definitely the reason why it sounds familiar with what we had on Nostrand Avenue with the motorized vehicles, what businesses have dealt with on Flatbush Avenue with the delivery with the third-party delivery drivers. But I do understand the plight, but there definitely needs to be some sort of mediation for this from that the city provides. One. Two, like Mr. Witherwack said, we don't know if there's any complaints in reference to this. This is just sounds like it's a neighborly dispute, and I would hope that it does not go any further. But there does need to be some sort of some sort of compromise between the two businesses that are neighboring each other on Franklin Avenue. But we are here in reference to the liquor license, and I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything that should not let us vote on the renewal of the liquor license. We have taken in concern, Ms. Davis, and I frequent your business. Well, I frequent your business as well. And Ross Plants, I have been to your business as well. But we're here for the renewal of the liquor license. This is most likely something that needs to be an ongoing situation and a compromise between the both businesses. Maybe Ross Plant Based needs to figure something out with their third party deliverers. But it does need to be handled, and I would recommend each parties to contact 311 first. Contact your I'm sorry, your NCOs, neighborhood community neighborhood. I don't want to misword it, but every officer, every sector has its NCO, and this can be handled on a much better playing field for each party without any legal action being taken off and costing each business money. Um, that's just my plight. So,
thank you.
that's all.
Thank you. And I appreciate that because there's no way that I could introduce this application without this information and have the discussion. So I'm certainly not losing the sight of what we're here for, but we need to be able to present all the information. So that's what this is about. I just want to suggest for both parties, Ms. Davison and Mr. and Mrs. Regali, that you consider MEND New York City. It's a great resource for that type of mediation. Something, please look them up and have that in consideration. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead to Ms. Mitchell. Ms. Mitchell?
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
As someone who's been in a lesser position than the neighbor, we do have to look at the fact that yes, liquor licenses, even though it's just about the operating of said liquor license, having that license is what attracts people. And if a neighbor is having issues with the people and the attraction of those people and how her property is being treated, then in a way we do get involved. And I'm not saying that we are supposed to step in and try to mediate this in any way, shape, or form. I think that the advice given here has been great. I don't think that we should have it at a level where we're in a legal space already. Definitely recommend mediation and trying to work it out with certain rules. But I did want to make a point. In the applicant's initial letter, they said, well, we can't control who's on the sidewalk and we can't control, what people do, etc. But I want to let you know that you do have certain control over your customers and where they go and where they stand and where they wait for your service. Yes, it is a public sidewalk and everybody is entitled to it, but there are measures that you can take, whether that's putting it at the bottom of every flyer, or speaking about it on Instagram, or having someone who's out there who's actually like saying to your customers, hey, would you mind waiting this way instead, or would you mind stepping over here, please, etc. It doesn't have to be acrimonious. There should be a way to fix this without it coming, hopefully, to a legal situation. And understand that as a community board, we are all here to help each other, and that includes you as a business, and also take your neighbors' feelings into account. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Rosado?
So I have 3 points to make. One as a business owner, one as a person on SLA. Um, Probably 2 points as a business owner. One, you can't always control those bikes. I have bared the brunt of a very, very busy sushi place next door to my business that does not have a liquor license. And their drivers are constantly in front of my establishment, which is already a very, very tight space, and causes a crunch area. We, however, have never called a lawyer or the police because we get that, we don't like to hurt uh, what it is to do good business. We like to congratulate that. However, we do speak directly to the owners. And a lot of the time directly to the drivers, because the owners can't always come outside and mediate those drivers. I've patronized Vanderbilt very, very, very often in the last few months, especially after open streets, and I've spoken to many owners over there who say this is beautiful, this is wonderful, but these bikes, it's so dangerous. It's almost like, they're gonna run people walking down the block over. Do we expect them to run into the street and claim that that space is also theirs? I don't think so. In addition to that, punishing a business owner for being busy by making or suggesting that they hire someone to specifically uh, designate an area for customers or drivers when restaurants are already suffering in this climate, in this post-pandemic climate, as well as niche restaurants, and then on top of that, minority-owned restaurants. I think it's a lot to ask them to, hire somebody specifically for this situation where places that don't have liquor licenses aren't being required to do such a thing. Um, yeah, so I think those I think are my points. I don't
Thank you.
If the liquor is not causing the issue, and more so it's the fact that they're doing great business and it's a bunch of um to go bikes, I think that's more of a city issue. And how do we get these bikers regulated so that the business owners really aren't being penalized for this type of situation? That's it.
Thank you. I just want to add to what you're saying, Ms. Rosado, that it's not only just the delivery drivers, and I think that is the issue that really needs to be addressed with the folks that hired them. The service that's being provided. I think that's where we have to start addressing. But it's not only the bikers that are in front of the storefront blocking the doorway. It's also the patrons that are waiting. So there's definitely control there in terms of direction. So I just wanted to say that the bikers is also patrons as part of the complaint. So I just wanted to make that point. I just want to see if there's anyone else that has something to add, a comment, so we can move on with.
Yes, Dr. Marcus here. community director and advocate for Brooklyn, or the community advocate and development.
I'm sorry, Mr. Marcus, or is that your?
Yes,
Okay,
Dr. Marcus.
Dr.
Could you
Marcus,
hear me?
I can hear you clearly. Yes.
Yes. This was an issue that we had brought up, that I brought up at several community board meetings concerning the bikes, the parking, and the designated load and unload, which it's a burden upon our taxpayers who are paying taxes and have vehicles that they use and cannot park. They're putting in city bikes that are private, that
Okay,
are,
I hate, no disrespect to you, sir,
yeah,
Dr. Marcus,
yes.
but this isn't the forum for that. That is an issue that has to be brought. You may go to EST, you may want to write a letter to the district office, but that particular conversation is not for this meeting. Okay,
Okay, yes,
okay.
but what I'm also leading to, we also speaking about the liquor license and so forth, right?
We're speaking of the liquor license with Ross Plante, this particular applicant. We're not speaking, this is not a broad conversation about licenses in general with regard to liquor. We're
Okay,
speaking, we want to get this conversation back to the applicant that's before us.
oh,
We've made,
okay,
we've made suggestions as how they could mend their relationship. They have other avenues, but there's been an organization that has been referred to, and we want to really move on because
okay.
we get what the issues
I-
are, and we want them to be neighborly. Okay, so, and it sounds like you're getting into
I'll,
some.
I would like to comment on if you may, on when we come to them, the Black Lady Theater.
The Black Lady Theater is
Yeah.
not even on the agenda this evening. Uh, the applicant
It,
has pulled out
or the
for next
applicant has
month.
pulled out. Okay.
That's right. So but that discussion doesn't need to be had at this meeting. Okay?
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you, Dr. Marcus. Okay, Mr. Bocconi?
And also, it is so low that my partners and I at our organization cannot even hear it, and the WebEx is very, very low. We have to strain our ears to hear the conversation.
Oh, I can't control that. I'm very sorry that you're experiencing that.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Marcus.
Yeah.
So it'll be Mr. Bocconi, Mark Thurton, and Mr. Robinson, in that order, please.
I just wanted to bring us back to the application itself, and there are a couple of things that I think specifically I would like to hear the owner respond to. One of them, and both relate to the outdoor open restaurant setup. The first thing is that it is not permitted to have amplified sound outdoors in an open restaurant setup. That's on the DOT siting guidelines. So I'd like the applicants to confirm that they're going to remove the amplified sound from the open restaurant space.
Yeah, we didn't know that because the whole outdoor thing happened after the pandemic, so we didn't know, but yes, we will do that immediately.
Yeah, okay, great. And then the second thing that also is on the DOT siting guidelines is under the open restaurants program, you're required to maintain 8 feet of clear path on the sidewalk. So if you do have tables both at the curb and next to your building, you must make sure that there is 8 feet in between them where people can walk. That's also a requirement. So I also would appreciate it if you can confirm that you will maintain 8 feet of clear path on the sidewalk according to the city guidelines.
Correct. Yes, we have had somebody from the DOT visit us and give us those directions, and we do meet those requirements.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Thurton?
Good day, Madam Chair. Thank you very much. In reference to the scooters, yes, you're totally correct. We have to take it to a higher level. The community boards, our elected officials need to hold the Uber and all those other delivery companies accountable. The police can't enforce it on their own. This is something that's need to be done from top down, and it's definitely an effort that's needed to be done, not just by the community, also the owners of these restaurants need to be involved with it, because they're being called out on this, and all the attentions are being directed to the owners. So it's beneficial for them to participate on that effort for those delivery people to comply with whatever request that's needed of the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thurton. Mr. Robinson?
Hi, I don't think this is like the Hatfields and McCoys. Neighbors bounce heads off of each other sometimes. We're in New York, it's tight, we do that, and then we get over it. But I wonder that maybe if there was a pickup window, if they took out maybe the inside front tables and the outside front tables, if there might be a easier path going back and forth to just to hand food off to the drivers. I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you for that suggestion. Maybe it's something that they can think about in terms of making a little something to meet everyone halfway. Anyone else? Okay, I'm going to ask for a motion for this application, please.
I make a motion to support this renewal. This is a renewal, correct?
Correct.
Support this renewal with the amendment of removal of outdoor speakers and some form of flow of of delivery people. I'm sorry, I don't know how to, I'm trying to think of a way to get it all together, but I definitely want to amend the removal of outdoor amplified sound. I'm sorry. I want to support this application with the
all out together. Go ahead.
To remove the outdoor sound, to devise a smoother system of pickup from third-party deliveries, and to monitor all outside activity for all the neighbors along Franklin Avenue.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Madam Chair, this is Mr. Ellis.
Hi, Mr. Ellis.
Hi there. I appreciate
I was waiting for
motion. I'm appreciative of Mrs. Gibbs' motion. I'd like to add maybe some friendly edits to that, if that's okay.
Sure.
I would like to include the compliance of DOT's regulations for sidewalk clearance, for the maintaining the 8 feet pathway that's required by DOT siding regulations. I would also, to elaborate upon your request for maintaining a flow, is to have stewardship of the space during operating hours at all times. If that means an individual there sided, then that's their choice, but basically taking responsibility and ownership for the activities outside by pledging to our committee today that they will have stewardship of that space, and also management of the space and cleanliness and sanitation at the end of operations and during operations.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Can I chime in? Only because their storefront is so, this is Celine. Their storefront is so small. Asking a small business owner to somehow, some way hire somebody specifically to monitor flow sets an interesting precedent for many other establishments that, just because of complaints, may not be able to afford this type of situation. They are doing good business. Maybe they can afford it, maybe they can't. I guess it's up to me to vote and nay on that, but I just want everybody to understand that as small business owners, it's kind of hard sometimes to do what you're asking when they already said they complied with DOT. And then to say that they have to come back to say what they already said is interesting. They already said they're going to take out the amplified sound. So basically all we are saying is that they need to hire somebody to
No,
be.
ma'am, that's not what I said, Mr. Zano. That's not what I said.
Mr. Ellis, let Mr. Ellis clarify what it is that he's saying.
Yeah, that's not what I said. I said
Didn't
that
get that.
that they would take responsibility and stewardship for this activity. If that requires hiring somebody, that's their choice. But they can have existing staff members as well. If you look at their application, they do have a team of 40 employees. So they're not for a lack of staffing, right? So, and they are a victim of their own success in this manner. And I think it's incumbent upon the operator to manage their success. Whether it's Kith stores on Flatbush Avenue that drops a new sneaker and 200 people line up on the sidewalk for a release, they have to manage that space too. So it's incumbent upon the operator, in my opinion, and why I'm offering these friendly amendments to Ms. Gibbs' motion is that such, and to immortalize the activities that the applicant had said that they would remove the speakers and that they would manage that public space according to DOT regulations. Additionally, all I'm asking is just like any other operator that they maintain their public space, that's their responsibility, which includes cleanliness and sanitation 18 inches outside of the curb lane. So they are responsible for the cleanliness on a daily basis, or they're subject to fines and regulations. So all I'm asking for Mrs. Gibbs' motion is to include that language to immortalize that the community board has heard these complaints and these issues from our community and have asked the applicant to adhere to managing those to the best of their ability at this time with the requests that we have made. I'm not trying to make it an encumbrance. I'm not trying to make a demand of hiring additional staff. I'm asking that for them to seek our approval at this body, that they would agree to those requests made within the motion that Ms. Gibbs has made and that I had added a friendly amendment to. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Ellis. Mr. Widowax, do you want to add an amendment to that?
No, I just wanted to recap what I've taken from first of all, Ms. Gibbs, is Mr. Ellis's comments acceptable to you?
Exactly.
And Mr. Ellis, does that constitute a second?
If agreed to, I will happily second that motion.
Thank you.
Okay, so here's what I've said. We move to approve, provided that A, removal of outdoor amplified sound, which as Mr. Ellis said, that we're just asking them to memorialize a commitment, that they abide by the DOT regulated sidewalk clearance, same notion, memorialize a commitment, and that they maintain stewardship and management of the space during and after hours of operation. Did I get that correctly?
Yes.
That sounds like, I just also would like a consideration as well.
I apologize, I can't hear.
Can you hear? Can you hear me? Yeah, Miss Mitchell, can you hear me? Oops. Miss Mitchell?
Yes.
Can you hear now?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I can hear you perfectly. It was just when Mr. Witherwax, sorry, when Mr. Witherwax was speaking and giving, it went in and out a couple times. And like I said, I don't know if that was just on my end or the whole board, but I certainly I wasn't able to hear what he said.
I'll recap if there's no further questions on the
I
motion.
do have before you recap, I also want a consideration to be made, a strong consideration about having true effort in mediation. However you choose to do that, you know, an outside source or real sit down, but that you seriously come together and work things out. I just think that's important since we're talking about all of these things. I think that's something that should be considered as well. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Widowax.
Were you proposing that as a prong, or is that sort of just something everyone should keep in mind?
No, as a prong.
Okay. Is that
Yes.
acceptable, Ms. Gibbs?
Yes, it is.
And Mr. Ellis?
I mean, in the spirit of the community board, I would like to say yes, but as a practitioner and operator, I think that splitting those two items off would be more favorable and not have it contingent on our approval. Again, I think that the issues between the two businesses are between themselves and not related to the SLA application.
So Ms. Gibbs, it's on you. In terms of
No, I to be good stewards in the community, I suggested that in my initial comment. So I mean, Yeah, I really think, I mean, because at the end of the day, whether you're selling, whether it was before us for a liquor license or not, we would all along Franklin Avenue want to be good stewards to each other and everyone in the community. So I strongly suggest some form of mediation, mend New York City, or just to not come to this point to where we can be good neighbors to everyone.
My only pause on that is a legal one. Since one of the parties has already engaged a lawyer, and since a lawyerly missive has already been sent from one party to another, I think the community board should step a little back from the notion of mediation at this moment and they've chosen their forum. They want to go the lawyerly route. They can always back off of their own accord, but I would be hesitant to make mediation part of our approval or denial of the renewal.
If I may add to Mr. Witherwax's comment on that, I think it's also, we are asking one side of the two parties to have a deliberation incumbent upon these mediation, but the other party is not tethered to any outcome based on this, and it could be an infringement upon the liquor license applicant's opportunity to continue their business if the other party does not agree to mediation, and we are asking for that to be a prong of the consideration of approval.
Well, since everybody's sort of piling on here, I'll try to solve that problem. I believe that can be solved by, instead of requiring the applicants participate in mediation, simply requiring that they agree to participate if proposed by their neighbor. And if their neighbor does not want to propose it, they can't be obligated to do it. But if the neighbor decides they want to step back from filing a lawsuit and mediate, that they go along with it. That's a suggestion, by the way. I will leave it to one of the other great minds who are forming this motion to decide if they want to include that.
Ms. Gibbs, you're the motion maker.
Is it time for a recap?
Yes, please recap.
I think so.
To support renewal with removal of outdoor amplified sound, DOT regulated sidewalk clearance, stewardship and management of the space during and after hours of operation, and an agreement to participate in mediation if the neighbor proposes it.
I agree.
Mr. Ellis?
Sorry, I will agree to that language.
Okay. I do see a hand.
It's a hand. Ms. Muhammad.
Yes, I just wanted to say, and I think Gibb was a member of the SLAC at that time. We did that for Catfish, and that was how it was done. And there was also one person from the board that sat in the mediation also to make sure that there was someone from CB8 present. So again, with that in the motion, I think that is acceptable.
I agree, actually. Yeah, and I remembered that, Ms. Muhammad. Okay. Ms. Rosado, did you have something else really quickly to say?
Yeah, super quick. During and after operations or during operations? Because I'm not really sure how an owner can be there after operations.
It was during the hours of operation and sort of cleanup subsequent to was the implication. So you're right. It isn't after hours.
Is there going to be a time period to what after means?
I think that should be concurrent to when their final guests leave out their outdoor area.
Makes sense.
Because I don't know if their outdoor area stays open, what time their kitchen closes versus what time the people pick up till. Because the people could be picking up food from the third party vendors up maybe an hour after they close the outside. I don't know, but it should be subsequently to after the whole business shut down. That's my suggestion.
But maybe that falls under normal operating hours, right? Their normal operation should include cleanup and stewardship of the space. So yeah, I think we're probably on the same page.
Okay, thank you. So if there's nothing further, I'll ask for the vote, please.
Okay. Motion to approve with those 4 prongs. Gail Branch Muhammad. Gail, I knew you were here. Yeah, gotcha. Thanks, Gail. Diane Duke. James Ellis. Mr. Ellis.
Yes, sorry. Yes.
Thank you. Tamika Gibbs.
Yes.
Thank you. Jennifer Jordan.
Yes.
Thank you. Zerzima Jordan.
Yes.
Thank you. Oliver Hart.
Yes.
Thank you. Mimi Mitchell.
Yes.
Thank you. Roger Myers.
Yes.
Thank you. Fiora Ortiz Joyner.
Yes.
Thank you. Robert Puca. Celine Rosado.
Yes.
Thank you. Mark Thurton.
Yes.
Thank you. Gib Viconi.
Yes.
Thank you. Irsa Weatherspoon.
Yes.
Thank you. Sharon Wedderburn. Robert Witherwax, yes. Deborah Young.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes 15 in favor, no abstentions, no opposition with the stipulations.
Thank you very much. So, Mr. and Mrs. Regali, we thank you for your business in the neighborhood and we wish you success. And you're having the success already, so we want you to have success in the relationship that you should be having with your neighbor. So I hope that that is something that you can pull together and also be a success at. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll do our best to work with Ms. Davids. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, next up will be Chipotle. Dan Redmond and Mr. Sampson, the attorney. Can you hear us, Mr. Sampson?
Yes, yes. Good evening.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I know that you were having difficulties earlier.
I was, yes. Resolved
Welcome
that
to you
today.
both.
Thank you.
Okay,
you.
I'm going to read the application. Just give me a few seconds here, please.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, so we're looking at Chipotle Mexican Grill of Colorado, LLC. And the principal's name is Helen Nicole Kaminsky. This restaurant is to be located at 250 Utica Avenue. I believe it's at the corner of Lincoln. Is that correct? Lincoln Place?
I believe so, correct.
Okay, great. And seeking a wine, beer, and cider. There will be recorded music on the premises. You are looking to have 9 tables, 29 seats total, 1 bar with no seats, with a max capacity of 56. The hours of service will be across the board from Sunday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. There will not be any outdoor service rather. So we're going to just move on. No entertainment is going to be at this location, at this business. With regard to amplified sound, the main music receiver in office, 3 ceiling speakers in dining room only, 15 watts each. As with regard to soundproofing, suspended acoustic ceiling tile in the kitchen and BOH areas, sheetrock ceilings in the bathrooms, and a combination of sheetrock ceiling and acoustic panels called Tectum in the dining area. With regard to staff and security, you'll have 15 employees, approximately 6 to 7 employees per shift with at least 1 manager. No security personnel, no other security measures. In terms of residences in the building where the business will be housed, 0. Number of residences in the building adjacent to the premises, left, right, and rear, 0. And we've also had attached a certificate of occupancy, and the picture of the building where the restaurant is looking to set up business. So several pictures in different areas. We also they've also included interior space and a map footprint of what the plan is with regard to the seating, kitchen, what have you. Okay, so do we have any questions to this application?
If I could just jump in very quickly, I just wanted to add one quick thing. For other security measures, there will be security cameras inside the premises.
Okay, okay, so that's now included.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. I see Ms. Muhammad's hand.
Sorry, I put it down.
Okay, thank you. All right, do we have any questions, comments with this application, please? Okay, hearing none.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Oh,
have my hand up, Mark.
you had your hand up? Okay, I'm not seeing. Please go ahead, Mr. Thurton.
I just want to say, you know, we look forward to have you guys in the community and for all the success and for the employment that you're bringing into the neighborhood and looking for you guys to be good steward on Utica Avenue. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, Mr. Thurton.
We look forward to it as well.
Great. Anyone else? Oh, Mr. Ellis?
Yes. I have a question for the applicant. Mr. Radman, is this affiliated with the same regional management that the Flatbush Avenue location is?
It is.
All right. So I just, now I wear the hat as the business director for the Flatbush Avenue corridor, the improvement district, and I just want to express concern and to ask that in this location, you guys would pay more mind, again, like the others we've asked today, to managing the sidewalk conditions, especially when it comes to the management of waste removal and the detritus that comes from waste from that restaurant, and managing the cleanliness and well-being of those sidewalk spaces.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or concerns with this applicant? Okay, hearing none or seeing no hands, I would like to get a motion, please. Mr. Ellis?
Yes, thank you. I'm prepared to make a motion to support the application as presented.
Thank you. Who was
I
the
second that motion. Tamika Gibbs.
May I make an amendment?
Sure, Ms. Mitchell, go ahead.
The prongs to it, which is the sidewalk cleanliness and making sure that all waste is disposed of properly, etc. Can we do that?
Just repeat that again. I heard the waste removal. You're also speaking about sidewalk cleanliness. Was that the second thing? Can you hear me? Can anyone else confirm that?
No.
Yes, it was the same thing. I just wanted to.
You're going in and out.
Hello?
If you're speaking, you're going in and out. We didn't hear.
Okay. Sorry, y'all.
It's okay. Go ahead. Oh, you're okay. So I think we heard, if we're in agreement, the amendment is the attention to waste removal and sidewalk cleanliness. Are we correct here? Are we in agreement that's what Ms. Mitchell was saying?
That's what I heard.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Are you amenable to that, Mr. Ellis? Being included?
Similar to my last response, I am amenable to it in theory and in practice of the spirit of our community board, but having it related to the application, I think, is a different issue, since the management of waste and sidewalk management is not an SLA concern. But I would take that their comment on the record here tonight would mean that they agree to managing and stewarding their spaces, and we would hold them accountable to that effect by either reporting any infractions to 311 as a community member or neighbor. But as the motion I would like to present, I'd like to keep it focused on just this application in the manner that I proposed.
Thank you. I just want to get straight the seconder. I heard Ms. Gibbs, but it seems like I heard someone else before then. Can we clarify that, please?
I wrote down Ms. Gibbs.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I don't see any more hands. Okay, so if nothing further, I will ask Mr. Little Wax to do the vote, please.
Certainly. Gail Branch Mohammed. Gail?
I don't see her. Oh, there she is. Gail, can you unmute yourself, please? You can hear us?
We'll come back around. James Ellis?
Yes.
Thank you. Tamika Gibbs?
Yes.
Thank you. Jennifer Jordan?
Yes.
Thank you. Zerzima Jordan?
Yes.
Thank you. Oliver Hart? Thank you. Mimi Mitchell?
Yes.
Thank you. Roger Myers?
Yes.
Thank you. Fiora Ortiz Joyner?
Yes.
Thank you. Celine Rosado?
Yes.
Thank you. Mark Thurton?
Got a busy corner there as being a good steward. Basically, keeping the intersection clear is extremely important. I don't think it needs to be added to it, but I'm quite sure you'll do that on a regular basis. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Gib Viconi?
Yes.
Thank you. Irsa Weatherspoon?
Yes.
Thank you. Robert Witherwax, yes. And what Mark just said is exactly right. We presume every applicant who's coming new to our community is going to do all those things. So yes. Deborah Young?
Yes.
And the motion, Gail Branch Mohammed? Okay. So, yeah, agree with Mr. Thurton there. Motion passes 14 in favor. No opposed, no abstentions.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Witherwax, and thanks to Ms. Kaminsky and Chipotle for the new business in the neighborhood. We wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you. We look forward to being a great neighbor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much. Have a
members.
good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so our last and final application for the evening is Lamode Brooklyn LLC. Miss St. Louis, how are you?
Good evening. I'm
Good
great.
evening.
Everyone's doing okay?
Awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm gonna read your application.
Okay.
All righty. Right. Just waiting for it to pop up. Okay, so the principals for Lamode Brooklyn LLC is Amanda St. Louis and Denise St. Louis. And the trade name is Lamode BK. The premises is located at 1401 Bedford Avenue, which is at the corner of St. Mark's Avenue. This is a restaurant and bar seeking a full liquor license. For method of operations, you are looking to have recorded music, karaoke, live music. The example of that is an acoustic duo. You have 20 tables planned with 4 seats at each table, so that's 80 seats. Am I correct there?
That is correct. However, those 20 tables, some will be 4 and some will be 2. So I should have put, I guess, 2/4. But
Yeah,
Mhm.
just only because your schematic has 4 seats to every table.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how the count went. So you're saying, do you know exactly?
I can have 4 because my capacity is 105, so it's fine. But I'm still going to break it up where I do
Okay.
2, and sometimes I can add it as 4. So it's going to
Okay.
be Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I mean, it's good to have, if that's what you want to be able to expand, I think you can, the 4 is fine.
Okay.
Okay, one bar with 18 seats at the bar, a total capacity of 105 in that space. Your hours of operation, now, there are 2 things that you have here,
Mm-hmm.
because you're not open yet, but you have hours of service. So what is it are you seeking? Because you have 2 different sets of hours here of operation.
In my application, I have a temporary. I also applied for a temporary. So the temporary only allows you to open until midnight for the first, I believe, for 3 or 4 months until you get the actual full license. So that's why I have 2 separate business hours. Because if I do receive the temporary, I won't be able to go after midnight. So that's why I have the 2. I wasn't sure how to fill that part out.
So your temporary license is good for how long?
If the temporary license will be good, I applied for both, the temporary and the full license. But what happens, you get your temporary within 30 days. And then that after the 30 days, then the full go into operation. So, but for the temporary, you're only able to open until midnight, from what I was told from my attorney. So this is why I had 2 different, I guess it said, because in mine it said hours of operation as per liquor license, and then it has intended. So I did as far as the liquor license, which is the first one, I guess I will be getting, and then the intention of the hours I'll be able to open.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to move on to, we may have more questions in that area.
Okay.
So we're going to move on to your outdoor service, which you are expecting to have.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a freestanding structure, outdoor dining structure you have here, and it's 24 by 8 with the square footage of 192 square foot. Sorry, 8 tables and 20 seats at the table. So again, is this that's all the chairs according to the tables for your outdoor service, right? It's a total of chairs. Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, and what is the maximum capacity in that area?
In the outside structure?
That first outdoor area that you have listed. We don't have a maximum capacity listed.
I wasn't sure of the capacity. I just knew of the dimensions. I'm not sure what the capacity would be, but I was trying to keep it on the minimum of in reference to the dimensions.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And your hours of operation: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Wednesday from 12 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Right.
And what are your noise attenuation measures? It's left blank. What are you planning
There
to
will
do?
be no music on the outside. Absolutely no music.
Any other measures other than no music? You can't have music anyway, so just so you know, you can't have amplified sound outside. So are there any other attenuations you were planning?
As of now, no.
Okay, just want to make sure because it's blank. Okay, so we're moving on. You will have entertainment. There will be live music with occasional acoustic, duo, and karaoke, hosting real estate mixers, fundraisers, holidays, and back-to-school giveaways. You have amplified sound, 300 watts or less, 2 speakers, wall-mounted. So that's on the inside, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Will you have soundproofing on the inside, acoustic panel, a soundproof phone? In security, you have 10 employees. That includes chefs, bartenders, waiters, and bar back, and 1 member of security personnel. You will also have an alarm system and cameras. Your neighbors that's located in your building are 4 units.
Yes.
Okay, and you've also listed that the residences in the buildings left, right, and rear view are 9 total.
Yes.
Okay, and you have included your certificate of occupancy. You have also provided pictures of the space and your footprint that you have drawn, and that's about it. And you did make your postings to the community.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm just looking through all the information. Okay, so I'm going to open it up to our committee for questions and concerns for this applicant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions or concerns? Ms. Gibbs?
Yes. Hi. A few questions. this is on the corner of my block. A few questions. When do you propose to open? Two, are you, I must have missed that. Will you be having food? Is this a food and bar? Will it be set up like the previous business that was in that location? And in reference to outdoor, um, your outdoor shed, will that be in the street, on the sidewalk, both? And where, and I need a capacity amount of how many tables you plan on putting in that location.
So the first question, looking at a proposal date, late November, probably early December. There will be food served. It's a Caribbean Asian fusion restaurant. I'm sorry, what was the third question in reference to the chairs and tables?
And to your outdoor shed.
Oh, so it will
What's the capacity? You said you gave measurements, but how many tables and chairs you plan on putting in this outside location?
It will be 8 tables with a total of 20 guests. And it will be not on the sidewalk, it'll be in the street. So it'll be a structure that's built.
And I have a question. How do y'all propose on building this structure in the street for a structure that's never been there before? Because the reason why I'm asking is because this area along this whole Franklin Avenue corridor, the residents that live along
I'm not on Franklin, I'm sorry.
I know you're on Bedford. I'm
Okay.
just saying. I'm saying the residentials that's between Franklin and Bedford. We circle everywhere. So, how do you? I'm looking. I'm thinking about. I don't mean to be biased. I'm thinking about my future, my immediate future, because at the corner of my block, as well as my other neighbors in the community who are also. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the area, but this is an area of seniors. And how do you propose to even build a structure? Because I didn't know. I seen the work going on, and I seen the business for sale, but I didn't know what was going on. I don't even recall seeing the posting, honestly.
They're still there, actually. Yeah. So we were planning on doing. Actually, we're planning on doing a structure a little bit different. I am from Brooklyn. I went to MacArthur's College in LIU, and I went to Prospect Heights High School. So I'm very familiar with the neighborhood. We're planning on using actually something a little bit more solid in structure. We're planning on using a container home. I don't know if you're familiar with that structure, but it's a little bit more enclosed. And as far as I know, the city has been cracking down as far as like how most of the outside structures have been built because they're not like as far as with rodents and stuff like that. So we're planning on doing it in a way where it can be shut down at night and closed so that we don't have an issue as far as as far as the structure being safe or unsafe for the neighborhood.
And the last question, just to make sure that your structure will only be in front of your business, because next door to your business is on one side is the empty lot and the other side is the garden. Because we've had people in the community in the past that have assumed the corners not in front of their business. And we don't want to go back down that road to have the proprietors remove the structure that's not in front of their business.
Absolutely. Everything will be structured in front of our unit, in front of the building. I'm sorry. We will try our best to do and keep the noise down. I mean, I have spoken to the people in the building and next to our location, and we did get some input as far as things that we needed to do to keep everything, so everyone can be accommodated for. So we're just
so much.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Gibbs. Next, we will hear from Mr. Meyer. I'm sorry, Mr. Myers and Mr. Thurton. In that order. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Did she? Are you having an outdoor cafe with 20 seats? Was that on the proposal?
It'll be 8 tables, 20 seats. Yeah.
Okay, because I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
our board. Did we have a maximum of 15 seats for outdoor cafes, or do we have a set number at the moment?
No, we don't have a set number. It really is according to the space that's being utilized. So we don't have that number. It's not a set number, not a flat number.
Okay, understood. Congratulations for getting that location, and hopefully you have much success at that corner.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. You need all the blessings I can.
Blessings are good. Mr. Thurton? Mr. Thurton?
Yes,
Oh,
hi. I'm
oh,
sorry.
okay, you're speaking. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've always liked that spot. You know,
Yeah.
I've been there several times on different occasions. In the old days, you know, we didn't just used to sit and talk. You know, we used to party. So that used to be a little party spot. But it was cool people though. Are you renting the space or you purchased the building?
I am renting.
Okay, all right, okay. And have you had any other business before?
I have a catering business actually. I have a catering business where I actually I was in business with someone prior years ago. That business ended, and I still continue. I do catering now. I actually do catering for a lot of political events. Actually, Mayor Adams is actually one of my clients that I do catering for. So, yes, I do catering at the moment.
Okay, and I see that you're gutting out the entire place and you're going to be putting the soundproofing so that you won't have no problems from your tenants above?
Yes, and that's part of the reason why everything's taking a little bit longer than expected because I wanted to make sure that was priority.
Okay, and I see that the hours are going to be closing up at 3 o'clock?
Those are only for weekend. When I wouldn't say it'll be closing at those times. That'll be I put 3 a.m. because let's say we were closing at 2, it'll give us a little bit of time to clean up and get everything together, get rid of the last customers that are indoor. But we're hoping to be more the 2 a.m. side.
Okay, are you inclined just to do a 2 a.m. You know, for starting off, and then as time goes on, just increase it as time goes on?
Oh no, it's going to be midnight, like I explained earlier. So I applied for 2 licenses. I applied for a temporary and also a regular license. In reference to what I don't know if everyone's familiar what it is. One you can get within 30 days, and the other takes the regular license takes anywhere between 4 to 6 months, from what I've heard. So I applied for a temporary. So the temporary only allow you to be in business until 12 midnight. So this is why I had 2 separate, like Ms. Winston was saying earlier. For the first, I believe it can be 4 or 6 months. It'll be closed at midnight.
Yeah, I mean, we're really concerned about the long term. I mean, after the 6 months, you know, that's okay, but we're really concerned after that period. I mean, are you inclined to do the 2 o'clock hours for the
I can,
for the, for the
of course, I can do the 2 a.m. That's perfectly fine.
okay.
Mhm.
Right, all the best. We welcome you over there, and that spot has always been a spot that I admire that has a lot of potentials to it. Thank you.
And I'm hoping I'll see you once we're opening in business.
I do have a question, and thank you, Mr. Thurton. Ms. Gibbs had asked a question, and I didn't. You might have answered it, and maybe it went over my head. But when do you? What's your expected timeline to be open? When
12. Oh, I'm sorry. Ending of December, early December.
Okay. Great.
I'm sorry, late November, early December.
I actually understood. Thank you. Okay. Any more questions for this applicant?
Can we quickly clarify what the hours of the liquor license are now? Like, because I'm confused now. Just from looking at the application, I see midnight for the liquor license, but service, as in like food and other things, is till 2 or 3.
I'm sorry. So maybe I misunderstood the actual part of that application. So service will start, the business of operations would be from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. for the beginning of whatever the liquor license requirements are for the temporary. Once the full license is applied, we'll be doing from 12 p.m. to 2 a.m.
So from just to clarify from what you're saying,
Mhm.
is that ultimately what you want is a 2 a.m. closing time.
Correct.
But you applied for the temporary license and the permanent one because you believe that it may arrive quicker, the temporary.
Correct.
So that's your whole point.
Yes.
Correct. So ultimately, it's the 2 a.m. is what Ms. St. Louis is seeking.
But that'll be only on the weekends. It wouldn't be, it'll be from Thursday to Saturday.
Okay, I mean, that's what you have listed there, yeah.
Yes.
But
Mhm.
I just think, this it sort of speaks about what Mr. Thurton was saying, just to have an understanding of what we're talking about here, because we do see the 12 a.m. and we do see the 2 a.m.
Yes.
So
That was
ultimately, you
my
want the 2
mistake.
a.m.
Sorry, I'm looking at the
Wait, hold on,
documents and the
hold on,
Dropbox, and they say 2 a.m. and 3 a.m.
Mr. Hart, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So what was already mentioned is that because Mr. Thurton just cleared that up in terms of being a 2 a.m. and not 3 a.m. So that was just said right before I started speaking.
Right. So is it 2 a.m. 7 days a week? Because just now I heard 2 a.m. on the weekends, but midnight on the other days. Maybe we can clarify that.
Okay. I'm sorry. Now I'm confusing myself because I'm looking at. Okay, so let's go over it. I'll just have a look at it while we're speaking. So it'll be from 12 p.m. to 2 a.m.
7 days a week.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Gibbs, do you have something else to say? Or that's an old hand?
Just to answer Mr. Thurton's question, does she own the building or does she buy the building? The family is not looking to sell the building, Mr. Thurton. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, any other questions or concerns before we go to a vote? To a motion first, actually. Any other? Okay, I'm asking for a motion for this applicant.
I motion to accept it.
I second that motion, Tamika Gibbs.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thurton and Ms. Gibbs. Mr.
Assuming that was as amended, as discussed with the midnight and 2 a.m., right? That was your motion, Mr. Thurton?
Yes, I apologize with the closing at 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm. And Ms. Gibbs was the second?
Yes, Ms. Gibbs was the second, but I just want to clarify
Yes.
the concerns of Mr. Thurton and Mr. Hart that it's Friday and Saturday is what's 2 a.m. and the rest is midnight. Is that what you're saying? We just want to get that clear.
For me or
Yeah,
sorry.
for you. Yes, Ms.
No,
Saint.
it's going to be 12 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Okay, for
Yeah.
all days. Okay, thank you. All right.
7 days a week, of closing at 2 a.m.
Correct.
Okay. All good?
All good.
All right. Gail Branch Muhammad.
Yes.
Thank you. James Ellis.
Yes.
Thank you. Tamika Gibbs.
Yes.
Thank you. Jennifer Jordan.
Yes.
Thank you. Zurzima Jordan.
Yes.
Thank you. Oliver Hart.
Yes.
Thank you. Mimi Mitchell.
Yes.
Thank you. Roger Myers.
Yes.
Thank you. Fiora Ortiz Joyner.
Yes.
Thank you. Celine Rosado.
Yes.
Thank you. Mark Thurton.
Yes.
Thank you. Gib Vaconi.
Yes.
Thank you. Irsa Weatherspoon.
Yes.
Thank you. Robert Witherwax, yes. Deborah Young.
Yes.
Motion passes 15 in favor, no abstentions, no no's.
Thank you so much. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it. Thank you.
We
So
appreciate you considering the neighborhood for your business, and we wish you all the best.
Thank
And
you
we'll
so
see
much.
you on the
13th. For
13th.
On
the
the 13th.
full
Yeah.
board meeting. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, everyone. Thank you for hanging in. Very productive. Wish you all a good night, and we'll see you at the board meeting or our next SLAC meeting. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone.